Why the heck does no one ever talk about this set? It's oh so beautiful and it's incredibly underrated. We need more Hero Factory sets like this one. Come with me, let's talk about this great set. Let's talk about its great pieces, and let's begin the beautiful month of Hero February starting off with an absolute banger of a set. Let's review the Dropship. So you can call it the Dropship, you can call it the Hero Craft, you can call it the Hero Ship, or the Hero Transport. Surprisingly, this has a lot of names. This set really does an excellent job of enriching the world of Hero Factory. And one of the biggest reasons it does that is because of the play feature. You can grip on the base right here, and then you can pull this trigger. Doing so closes in these arms and lifts up these wings. What's this for? Well, if you look at some of the original canisters that the heroes come in, well, you're encouraged to take the label off, put your hero back inside, and now the dropship can pick up those canisters, transport the hero off to their next mission, and deploy them for battle. Isn't that fun? It enriches the world, doesn't it? You learn how the heroes get ferried off to their next mission. Suddenly now these canisters aren't just something you throw out. No, they're a part of the story. And you can just imagine it, right? A bunch of these dropships flying into a hot battle zone with missiles flying everywhere and villains launching attacks as they elegantly dodge through the skies. And they just manage to drop off the heroes in time so that they can save the day. A set like this with its beautiful play feature just brings the world to life. Just looking at it, I'm filled with ideas of how to play with it. That's the sign of a good toy. And not for nothing, the mechanism is oh so satisfying to play with. That I like. I'm also about to say something that many AFOLs would probably never say in their life, but I'm a big fan of these stickers. Yes, it's a pain to put them on the pieces, it's pretty easy to misalign them, maybe they should have been printed. Sure. But I don't know, I like the lettering, the logos, the symbols. They look awesome. I actually had this set as a kid and didn't put the stickers on, because I was the kind of kid that went, no, I'm gonna take this apart and build with it. If I put the stickers on, I'm just gonna take them off later. Let's just leave it blank. And now that I'm building this set again to review this, I finally put the stickers on and oh, it feels like a totally new set. These little details add in quite a lot. Some of the stickers even include some wonderful nose art. This harkens back to a few like old World War bombers. They had artwork adorning the front as well. It was cool. I don't know who this character is meant to be. I wonder if this was eventually going to become some sort of set, or if this is actually a existing character in the universe of Hero Factory. Interesting. Although, I'm very fascinated by the markings just above this. Almost like some sort of kill count. Again, this is the same thing that you would also see on real-world bombers. The individual markings were some sort of like signifier for a successful mission, but typically they mainly signified some sort of destroyed vehicle. It was a kill count. And given the little crosshair symbols on some of these villains, yeah, I assume that this represents the amount of villains that they shot down and killed. It's a touch graphic for a Lego set, isn't it? And it feels like decent confirmation that Hero Factory does murder the villains from time to time. Huh, maybe they're not the heroes if that's what they're doing to the villains. Some fascinating darker tones for this set. I like how snug the hero fits into the cockpit. I wonder if the set designers actually based the size of the 1.0 heroes off of the fact that they could fit in this dropship. Yes, this pilot does have slightly different arms, which make it a bit more easy for him to fit inside. But still, all of the 1.0 heroes were very small, and as each wave progressed, the heroes just kept getting bigger. Maybe that is why the heroes were small. Vehicles needed to be built for them, and they needed to be a little bit more tiny to actually fit inside. I don't know, maybe I'm reaching with that, maybe that was not the case at all, but it could be. I don't know, something to think about. Oh yeah, and the pilots, we were briefly talking about them. They are unnamed. When you look at Bionicle, every single character, including some of their swords, the island that they're from, the hair on their left butt cheek, everything about them is named, categorized, and has a lengthy backstory to go with it. It's kind of crazy that we have a character like this that has zero backstory, zero name, nothing. But I actually kind of like that. It's an unnamed hero that you can name yourself. That blank canvas is sometimes the perfect thing to get creative with. This can be your self-insert character, This can be you in Hero Factory form. Or this could be some cool new dude that you get to make up and play with yourself. I kinda like that. Unnamed characters are surprisingly refreshing for the world of constructible action figures in LEGO sets. It is nice that this guy has one of those old Bionicle masks that came out in some 2009 LEGO sets. Good to see that returning in a new color. I do like how he grips onto these little controllers, these little levers. Nice choice to add in some of these LEGO lollipop pieces. Well, I don't know if you'd really call them lollipops, but that's what they've been used as before in, I believe it was a Harry Potter set, but I like that these have been included. Without them, it would just be sort of an average, boring construction. But the inclusion of one extra little piece totally transforms these controls. They look so much better. One side of the dropship features a Midax Sky Blaster. Well, that's what this piece was called in Bionicle. In the world of Hero Factory, this exact same piece has a different name. It's the H4 Force Ball Shooter. I'm gonna be real, I prefer the old name, but that's what it's called, and hey, it's still fun to launch these. Hey, the vibrant colors of this are stunning. It just looks cool. I wish we saw more large-scale vehicles in the world of Hero Factory. Yeah, they did a few, but none that were like this big and this well made. I like that this is basically just a Technic set that a hero can ride inside of. It's such a great idea that they could have kept exploring, but they didn't. Oh well. Alright, so that's what I like about this set. But what really sells it for me, well, it's the pieces. As good as a set is, if the part selection isn't that great, well then it's not a good set. So let's see what you get. I want to start off with what I think is the best element in this set. It's a silver hero core. Every other 1.0 hero core that we got came in a translucent color, and M Squid takes full advantage of that recolor, because you can just place it on the waist, and it blends in with all this other silver armor. In fact, the shape of it looks incredible on the waist. Yeah, I think, if this was the translucent version, I don't know, it just wouldn't look as good. It would just feel a bit out of place. This actually can pass as armor. It's sick. You do get a few nice jetpack pieces in this set. I rather like what Purple ZGR has done with this element. Just using one of them as a nice structural piece that helps make up this torso. It looks nice as armor, it helps give the torso a very unique shape. I like it. Hey, let's talk about this mask. I've got a creation here by Ibuki00. Now, it still uses it for a face, but remember, there's a big empty gap in the middle of this mask. There's no noticeable, facial features. It's barely even a mask, it's more of a helmet. So fill in that space in the middle. Use pieces like this trans green stud, the rubber bands, other smaller Technic pieces. And now you've got yourself a very robotic looking face. Perhaps you can use the blue mask to do something similar. You get a ton of yellow and light bluish gray Technic panels. Let's just focus on these smaller yellow ones. Unpixeled has used some in a few different ways. They look good on the lower arms. They also look good to kind of make, some sort of snazzy looking coat. These pieces also pair quite nicely with other Technic panels in different sizes and shapes. There's something about the sharp lines on these parts. It just looks smashing. Up next, another piece that you get a few of. It's these Sonic Jet pieces. CJ Bricks and Figs takes one of these and uses it in the construction of this large sword. Look at it, the connection points on this piece let you branch off a handle. You can also branch off a few spikes on the edges. And of course it leads up into the actual blade. This piece is pretty helpful, especially if you're also looking to make some swords. You might need to pick some up. The final element I want to discuss, these rubber lift arms. I like the way that Joxon uses them. Stuffing in a few Baraki eyes, Mixel pieces, all sorts of stuff. The end result looks like these bulbous growths. It's so gnarly, so gross, but it looks sick. That's the kind of stuff you can accomplish when you use rubber pieces. Wow, okay, this set has it all. Great parts, a brilliant design, nice stickers, a cool pilot. It might just be the perfect Hero Factory set. But let's take a look at a revamp and a nice homage to this set. So this here is Sky Blue. Nyramox has given that unnamed dropship pilot a name and a brand new makeover. This reworked mask is so fun. It actually looks like the kind of helmet and visor that you see on fighter jet pilots. I like how it's been made, using some of these tube pieces, the same ones that come on a set like Voltix, and then taking one of those brain attack visors. It really does look like a pilot helmet. I like it. So cool to see this character getting a bit of extra love. He deserves it. Alright, so we've had a revamp of the pilot. What about a revamp of the ship? Well, it is hard to revamp this set when it's already perfect. The only issue that you could face with this is that it is a little bit too large. You might not have the shelf space to display it. So why not do what Sakota has done and build a minifigure scale version that's a lot smaller, but still maintains all the same details? Hey, it's got my boy Surge as a minifigure inside the ship. 10 out of 10, no notes. This brick-built canister, it looks amazing. In fact, everything about this looks amazing. It's so cool to see this almost literally just be shrunk down. The fact that he put every single little detail into this, that takes real skill. Building things in a smaller scale like this, you've just got less room to play with. It can make adding in those little details a lot harder. And yet, Sakota pulled it off. Wow. You know, I'm shocked that this set doesn't get more love. It's so underrated. Maybe for Hero February you can make a dropship revamp for yourself. Or build some more large-scale vehicles that are kind of in the vein of this set. And yeah, that's right, it's Hero February. Now is the time to go and build your own Hero Factory creations. And don't forget to tag them with the hashtag HFFeb. It's time to build some heroes. Thanks for watching everyone, happy building, and bye for now. What are you waiting for? Go build a Hero Factory mock.